Hello, everyone, and welcome to Whole Latte Love Livestreams. I'm Zach, and today we are actually joined by a true coffee professional, Danilo Lodi. Danilo, tell us a little bit about yourself before we get started.
Hi everyone, I've been working with coffee from 21, about to be 22 years. Been judging World Barista competition and national competitions since 2009. I'm from Brazil. I'm also the green buyer, one of the founders of Untold Coffee Lab, and I'm happy to be here today.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being here. And today we actually have a treat in store. We have something new on my side of the table that we'll be getting to. And we're going to be trying all of our coffees through a process called cupping. Danilo, what is cupping?
So cupping is the way that we evaluate a coffee when we are about to buy or even when you're producing the coffee, but also is a tool that we can use it to check roasting profiles. So it's what we call like a standard method of evaluation from the Specialty Coffee Association. Nowadays we have a new coffee value assessment where we're going to score the coffee, but also there are protocols about how to make cupping. There's ratio, temperature, kind of water you're going to use, so you can actually make the cupping session.
Perfect. And before we get into those details, just so you all know out there, currently it is Black Friday, Cyber Monday today. So we are dropping a lot of deals. A lot of these coffees are actually going to be coming with a lot of the products that you're going to be ordering on Whole Latte Love. And you're going to learn a lot more about it right now and maybe some of the things of what you'll be looking forward to in tasting on your espresso, pour over, slow bar, maybe even cupping at home when you get these coffees in. We do have the comments down below, so feel free to say hi, ask any questions, because we'll dive deep into some aspects of tasting, aroma, and all these different things as we're going through this process. But it is a very fun, very professional process that we're going to be going through.
Yeah, but if you learn how to make it, you can even make it at home for any coffee that you buy. Sometimes, because you're going to use a little bit less coffee than doing a brew for yourself, and you can evaluate, okay, maybe I like this one more than I like the other, and then you can buy and maybe use for espresso or filter the way you want it.
Perfect. So on the startup, when we have this laid out, what are we laying out and how much coffee are we getting?
So there is like the golden formula, right, about how you're going to make the cup. So you need to measure the volume of the cup, and then you're going to divide by this. So it's 8.25 grams of coffee to 150 mils of water. Of course, this is a bigger cup, right? This is 200 mils. So here it's 11 grams if you do the math. And you can extrapolate for a bigger cup or even a smaller cup. So like that's the ratio. The grind size needs to be a medium coarse grind size. If you go very specific, they have like even a micron setting that is something around 700 microns.
Around 700.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So you need to use that. But if you don't, just thinking about a little bit before you grind for French press, like that will be the ideal. So like a coarse grind, but not too coarse. That's why we call medium coarse grind. And then, of course, you can only grind, let's say like we ground, it's like 15 minutes before, and that's the max that you can do it. Because we're gonna, like, this is for the infusion that we're gonna make, but there is also another aspect. We're gonna evaluate the aroma. And aroma, we evaluate it in 2 stages. First stage, we call fragrance, which is the dry aroma. Right now, we can go through all the samples, smell, and then evaluate what we are feeling. Then later, after we add water, we go back again so we can also evaluate the wet aroma.
Yeah, so all of these are used in process because there's human error when we're brewing on other things. So this takes out any human error that might be there, and we're also limiting to the variables, so it's the same exact sort of cupping that we're doing every single time. And then also focusing on aroma. I mean, we have over 350 aroma receptors, so we're really focusing on that in so many different aspects between wet and dry and everything that you're about to see. So
yeah, when we are doing for evaluation or buying coffee, normally we put like 5 cups. But this coffee, like these all coffees were already selected. So we're just doing kind of like a tasting of it. So you can do like less cups if you want to. Like here, we're just going to do one because I think like 7 coffees is more than enough for you and I to just have a little taste.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I think with that, we should probably go ahead and get started.
Let's start it. Like, so we're going to start from here to there, starting with the single origins with the Ethiopia. So I just want you to smell a little bit and tell me what you think. One thing that a lot of people do, they like mix it up a little bit and smell so the volatiles can go up.
Okay.
Sometimes I don't like if there's like too many people, there's not a good etiquette to do it, because if you have any smell in your hand, like soap or whatever, you're going to transfer to the cup. But like, since we wash our hands, if you want to, we can do it. So I'll do it here. Now it's you. And tell me, what do you smell?
It feels kind of yogurty.
Yeah.
It is kind of yogurt blueberry.
Yeah, it's kind of like a berry.
Yeah,
and
very
yogurt,
berry.
Yeah, lactic but very sweet. What about this one, the Guatemala Huehuetenango?
This one starts going more into like an orange.
Yeah, like a citric. Yeah,
more citric. Yeah.
Yeah. This one, it's for that. What about the Colombia? And yeah, this process is fast. We cannot take too long because the coffees are oxidizing.
So this has more of a spice to it.
Yeah.
Immediately. I can't really identify what spice, but it's there. It's prominent.
It's going to be easier to identify when we're cupping, when you're tasting, than it is. But yeah, it definitely has some spices, some kind of like brown sugar.
Yeah, brown sugar is definitely there.
Okay, now this one.
Whoa, so this starts getting into like a milk chocolate.
Yeah.
It's not just like dark chocolate, but it's like nice, smooth, milky chocolate. Yeah.
But definitely more intense.
Definitely more intense.
The other, like more delicate side, here we're entering like the more intense. Now, let's go this one.
Oh, whoa. So this feels like almost a combination of these two, where there's like a lot of caramel notes coming through.
Yeah, but with a little bit of fruit. There's
a little bit of fruit, and then a little bit of chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about this?
Whoa. Okay, so this really brings it to like a dark chocolate.
And a nutty flavor,
Yeah,
kind
so
of
it
like
comes
a
out
roasted
nut.
almond.
Yep.
Stuff like that. Cool. What about these? This is a new one.
Wow. So I haven't really smelled this one before. So this one comes up kind of in the floral sense.
It's kind of like, for me, it's a sweeter version of this.
Yeah. So
like that's what it tastes.
So it is kind of like this, but it's more relaxed.
Yes.
And refined in a way. It smells very elegant.
Yeah, and I'm going to try to explain a little bit why. So here we have fruity, not only because of the origin, but also because of the process, right? Here, it's mostly because of the variety, like the citrus that we feel is the variety, but also the origin. Same thing here, variety plus origin. Here we are talking about blends, right? So this is the idea behind mixing those coffees together. So the idea here is like finding the ratio of having this very intense aromas. Here a little bit more mix between intensity of like dark and fruity notes. And here a little bit more balance, which should be like sweet, but also like intense dark chocolate and almond notes.
And it's not an easy thing to do,
No,
especially
it's not.
when developing these roast profiles and the percentages between all of these. There's a lot of development behind these specific coffees.
Yes.
And how they actually perform on a cupping table too.
True.
So.
True. So now, like, this is the important part that we already evaluated. If we're giving scores, we can use the coffee value assessment, give a score that relate to intensity, and then there's another score that relates to quality.
Which you can find online if you want to print that out as you're tasting coffees. It kind of helps you track where you're and what you're doing.
Yes, there are even apps that you can download and write it down. But you can do this in a professional way, or you can do just like as a hobby.
Yep.
And I do that. Like I go to coffee shops and I write down some notes of a coffee that I never tasted before, and that's a good practice to do.
I have a little book that I keep on me at all times
Yeah.
with a nice pen.
So what we're gonna do now, and that's like very time sensitive, it's we're gonna fill up with water. Since we already measured the volume of the cup, we're gonna fill it up to the rim with hot water, right? Since we are here in Rochester, it's very low in altitude. We're gonna use 96 degrees Celsius. Don't know the conversion in Fahrenheit. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
But we're gonna time. So as soon as we drop, we need to time because the SCA standards say that depending on the size of the cup is between 3 to 5 minutes for us to break the crust.
Gotcha.
So we need to time when we start doing it so we don't miss that part. Okay?
Perfect.
So I want you to help me here. And then as soon as I say go, we go. Go. Oops.
Now, is there a rate of which you like to pour these at?
You should do a little bit of turbulence to everything get wet, but not too much. Otherwise, you're going to over-extract. Because let's face it, this is an extraction that we are doing. It's just like a practical way to do it. We can now start filling the other cups that we're going to use to clean the spoons.
And it's important to have like the same water or the same heat?
It is important, yes. This one's, like the ones that we're going to use for clean, they don't have to be as hot, but it is important to be hot. You don't want it to put your spoon and your spoon is cold. So right now, we have here like 1 minute that we finish everything. We need to start smelling the crust, which is the wet aroma. Gotcha. And now we don't touch it anymore because you might break the crust just by moving. So you need to be careful.
So you'll see a lot of people with like hands behind their
hands in the back,
making sure they're not even bumping the table.
Yeah,
is
like
a little bit of a bump might break the crust?
Backwards. What?
Yeah, a little bit of a bump might break the crust.
Yeah, it might.
Yep.
So
we're enhancing our olfactory senses now. Whoa.
If you get saturated because you're smelling too many samples, one little trick that we have, you just do this and smell your own arm, because the only neutral smell that we have, it's our own smell.
Oh, gotcha.
So you reset your brain and then you can do it.
So you probably don't use any...
exhale on top of that. So like that's the other thing that sometimes you see people like doing this and exhale to the side.
Okay, gotcha. Because we're also enhancing that aromatic senses by also exhaling, because that's another way to coat a lot of our mucus on the inside, because that's how we're also identifying a lot of different flavor profiles.
Yes.
And enhancing that.
Nice. But it changed a lot, right? From was it dry?
Oh, it's completely different.
Completely different. So one thing, you know that, but like I think it's important to people to understand, because we have like a deadline of 1.5 minutes because we're gonna break the crust with 4, is the way that you're gonna do it. You need to be consistent. Again, we're talking about making turbulence to break the crust. So the way to do it, you're just gonna put the spoon like this from you to the back, and then you're gonna swirl like 1, 2, 3, take like this, and
so
that's
turn
it.
It upside down.
Yeah, like done. No, because it's really hard if you do turbulence to be consistent from cup to cup. So maybe you're gonna extract more by doing more turbulence in one cup and less in the other because you didn't do it. This way you can keep consistent.
Gotcha.
Right, that's one of the protocols to do it. And always like you need to wash, dry, and then you go to the sample.
Perfect.
Always, right?
Every single time.
Every single time.
Well, that way there's also no coffee from the previous sample to the next, right?
Yes.
Cool.
So
wonderful. All right.
You're going to start from this one, and we're going to start from this one. We have
as soon as we hit 4 minutes.
4 minutes, because you started. No, sorry, you started here, right?
I started here.
So yeah, like that's the one that you're going to start it, and I'll start it here. So wash your spoon, dry, We are almost there. And
all right, do we have a good shot of this?
we can go. Okay, wash.
And then we're also smelling at the same time. So
Yes.
there's another
When you
aromatic
break,
factor
yeah,
here.
you can feel other smells.
So we're pushing. 1, 2, 3.
Clean it here.
Wow, I'm so excited about this last coffee too.
Clean it here. Perfect. Now, you're going to look at me and say like, okay, how I'm going to drink this? There's another part that we need to do, which is clean the crust, right? Most of the grounds went to the bottom, and now we need to clean it. So when we drink it, we don't eat coffee, okay?
Oh, you don't like that?
So for that, wait, I have a cup for you and
Additional
one for
cups.
me. Yeah.
So make sure you just have a lot of cups at home of the similar type, or I guess if this is just kind of like a hobby too, just grab whatever cups you can and just start tasting. Just start going for it.
Let me just fill a little bit more of this because we're gonna need for that. So what we're gonna do here is this. So we're gonna try to take the minimum amount of liquid to not change the ratio. So one way to do it is both spoons like this. Then you lay the back and take it. So you take it out the foam on a cup, then you wash, you dry, and then if there's anything left, you do it again. But you see, I'm taking minimum amount of liquid, almost nothing.
Just scraping.
Yeah.
And then using the other spoon.
That's why it's easier, because if you try it with just one spoon, you're gonna start chasing the foam, and that's not gonna be fun. Okay. Wash, dry.
All right. Overlap. So this is where some people can mess up a lot too. They're taking out too much.
Yes.
And then they're changing that overall extraction between coffees, right?
Yeah, because you're taking too much water, and the coffee's in a bottle now. So you're actually extracting more coffee per water.
You're so fast.
Well,
It's
a
like
little
it's
bit
your
of
profession
practice.
or something. I don't know.
It's like I do that for a living, right?
Yep. Whoop. Let's try not to mess up in front of you too. I've done it a few times. You know. All right.
Okay.
So do you feel that most roasters do this process?
I think most specialty high-end roasters do this process because it's very easy to have a quality control of the coffees. Let me take this out of the way, the ones that are already dirty. Okay, I'm now going to teach you a trick with this one. So you see there's a little bit of foam. Instead of going with both spoons, you can just check if it's dry. Go just with the back. Do 1, 2, there you go. And it's all in the back.
And it's all in the back.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
So that's the final touch.
Yes.
Do you do that kind of and visually inspect everything?
Yeah, I
do your
try
final
to.
touches?
Yeah, I try
Perfect.
to do that. And let me just put this one here.
And
'cause we're
visually,
gonna need
it looks like they're all about the
clean.
same. Yep, and clean.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And then we're gonna have to wait a little bit. So like now it's marking like 8 minutes, right? It's too hot to drink right now.
Yep.
So this cup, because I know already this cup is gonna be good to try when it's what we call like the hot part of the tasting, around 11, 12 minutes. Like that's gonna be ideal. And that is also important. We need to try coffee in 3 different stages: hot, warm, and cold. Why is that? Coffee, when it's hot, normally is going to be easier to pay attention on the taste and the aftertaste. But when it's cold, if there's any problem with the balance is going to show up, or the roast is going to show up only when it's cold. So you need to always pay attention in that. So normally divided the tasting in hot, pay attention more on flavor, aftertaste, warm, acidity, body or mouthfeel, cold, go back to see if everything changed, if the coffee kept the same, and take an evaluation about the balance, but also your personal opinion about the whole experience.
Gotcha. So you're really kind of focused in on this taste, aroma. How do you do this when we actually get to the tasting? Can you show me a little bit of a sample of like how we're making that part very consistent, especially when you're tasting hot to cold?
Yeah, that's why we need to move fast. So when you reach 11 minutes, we're gonna grab a little bit from our spoon, right? And we're gonna swirl very fast. Like we're gonna have to aspirate, so we can reach our tongue at the same time, all of our mouth. And with that, you're gonna pay attention in everything that is flavor, the retro nasal sensation. So the basic taste, so sweet, sour, bitter, acidic, sour, umami. So you need to pay attention to that, but also like any retro that you feel it. Of course, when you're doing too many cups a day, it's okay to spit it out.
I'm going to be sipping on all of this. I actually waited all day to drink coffee for this.
Yeah, but I've been doing a lot of tasting already today, so I'm going to be doing the spitting part.
Okay, cool. So you'll teach everyone kind of how to spit these out both through a separate cup. Again, another cup that you're going to have and use. But no, I think that's a great fact about how you kind of coat your whole entire mouth. There's so many different things that we're starting to pay attention to. Kind of like how we were talking about earlier, there's those retro olfactory senses, aromatic olfactory senses, that it's not just in, but it's also out, and how you coat everything enhances all those aromatic receptors that we have. And we only have a few taste receptors, so much of what we're doing on a cupping table or what you're doing at home when you taste something actually has to do with aroma. Kind of like when you taste coffee, you can plug your nose and you wouldn't be able to really tell what coffee that might be just because we're getting so much from that. Right?
Yeah, it's the flavor is the combination of the taste perception, but also the retronasal aromatic perception. You can only, if you have a flu or just plug your nose, like you're only going to feel sweetness, the tactile sensation, the sweetness, but no like notes of caramel or fruity or no, nothing.
And there's super tasters out there too that will actually ensure that they're in a nice humid environment too. So we actually have humidifiers on just to ensure that we have, nice healthy mucus, and we're going to be able to taste so well, because your environment really matters. So not only does a humid environment really affect things, but also really focusing, and when focusing, that you're in a nice quiet environment.
Yes, it will be a distraction as well. So right now, I think it's ready. So lower your volume at home.
Yes, lower your volume at home.
Because it might be loud.
So this is our sip warning. Danilo has a great sip. If you're interested, that would be it. So it does echo quite a lot. Yep.
We're ready. So start over there.
And nice. Mine's pretty weak.
Just be careful. Remember, like now is the hot one, so try to not put too much. Yeah.
And how you're lining these up in a row is also important.
Yeah, it is important, because if I put the fruity one at the end, it might be a little cloudy because the other are more intense, because that's more delicate.
Yeah.
So that's also an important part, like how you're going to line them up.
Now, there's lots of theories out there of like how we taste, and so many things are still just kind of theories. So that's kind of like a reverse modal theory of you'll actually be able to identify things more so in the next thing if it's lacking completely in the previous thing.
Yeah, that's the comparison part of it that helps your brain to understand what is in one and another. So when you have different samples, is the good way.
Yep.
So yeah, like I like to do this. What I just did is just like a fast passing, and then after that I start taking notes. This one is kind of like to prepare myself. Like it's still hot. Then I go back, and then I start talking about what kind of like flavors I'm feeling when it's hot. So for example, the Ethiopia. Very fruity up front, very sweet. There's a little bit of acidity that reminds like berry-like acidity, but there's also this like caramel and yogurt texture when it's hot. I really like this coffee. This is one of my favorite to drink as espresso, but also as filter. Yeah, I really like this one.
So when we're talking about sweetness too, we aren't actually talking about sugar. Like there's no sugar in this. All these tastes.
It's just the perception of sweetness.
It's the perception of sweetness, because when we actually look at our tongues, you know, there's little capillas, which are all the little nubs on your tongue, and then in between there's these whole crevices of things that we actually receive as sweetness. And typically sugar is what will come on there.
Carbohydrates,
but it's also very small. Sugar molecules are actually very large, so when there's a lack thereof, everything else will also kind of fall into that crevice and will actually perceive as sweetness. Just a little bit of tongue science there. But
so now the Guatemala. That's the part that I love about the Guatemala, like this, because it has this lemon. It's kind of like, for me, it's more like lime, like sweet lemon or lime, but with a little bit of caramel too. This is, and again, very easy coffee to drink. Not a lot of people like this coffee for espresso because of its, like, it's a medium acidity, and not everyone likes. I do. I think this
I'm a big
as
fan
espresso,
of that as well.
especially when you do it like just a straight espresso, a little bit like let's say diluted, like 1 to 3 instead of like 1 to 2, like that normally is the ratio of espresso. Like to stretch, a little faster extraction, tastes amazing.
So will the cupping table also tell us a little bit about how we want to brew something and like what extraction
it does.
we want to do?
But it also depends on what you like. So if you taste something that is very, I like chocolatey and heavy body, if there's already on the cupping table those flavors, it will taste amazing for you as espresso. But some people get a little bit scared when it's like towards the fruity side. I'm not. Like, I think you can make a great extraction, right? Espresso, it's a little bit complicated. You will sometimes, because of the pressure, you will extract more than you cannot perceive here. So you're going to extract even more of something. So it will always, like I always say, there's a magnifying glass. So if you feel like a little bit of sweet, maybe it's going to be super sweet espresso. If you feel a little bit of bitterness, maybe it's going to be too bitter as espresso. So it's always like a challenge. But after a while, you get used to like doing the cupping and then going right away and making espresso extraction. You get used to like, okay, what the coffee can bring it.
Yep. And we actually have our first question in from John Tompkins. Why would you not rinse or cleanse your palate between coffees? This is a great question.
That's a great question.
And Danilo has a great answer to this.
So I used to do that, and then I realized that because I'm watering my mouth, I create more acidity sensation and lowering the body sensation. That's one of the reasons that we don't do it. So normally, like, my cleaning will be, okay, I go 1, 2. The second one is the one that I'm evaluating. The first one was to clean.
So you're basically
with coffee.
You're coating first. So if you do rinse away with water or anything like that,
it could change the perception. Of course, it will depend on your physiology, but you could change your perception of body and acidity normally. This one again.
It's the modal theory again, by the way. Yeah. So not only is it the way that we line up, but it's also like what we're doing in preparation too, because we'll then enhance it more so over if we're actually cleansing every single time.
Now this one that is cooling down a little bit, the Tolima, Go ahead. Try it. This is malic acidity. And I love that. Like that's what you find in apples, green apples, like stone fruits. I love this in this coffee.
Yes.
And again, that's the one that people get a little scared to make as espresso. Don't.
Yeah.
Don't.
I would almost describe it as like it comes out almost a green apple, but it's definitely in the red.
Yeah, it's a ripe green apple.
Yep.
Right. And but it also have like a little bit of red apple too.
Yeah. So as you're starting to get into this cupping experience too, and maybe you're trying to identify these flavors, this is when we really suggest just eating a lot of different kinds of fruits because
pay attention.
And paying attention, like really even take notes. I take notes of different kinds of things that I eat, and I try to eat a lot of these different kinds of notes that we find in coffees pretty often. So my brain can actually identify these things, because when we're looking at coffee, of course, there's not actually apples in this, but maybe apples are actually triggering one of our nodes or one of our sensory receptors on our tongues.
And then the synapses in our brain make us remember that taste.
Exactly. But it could also be missing a couple different things that normally an apple would identify on your tongue. And if it's missing something, the more that we have something, we can fill in the bridge or the gap.
Yeah.
So
now, I like what I like about the Basopoulos itself. Go ahead. It's that this is the definition of body. So if you have trouble, like a lot of people are a little bit, they get a little bit confused about the tactile sensation, the mouthfeel. Like if you're in the cupping table like this, like we here, like we are working with medium, light body. When you come here, like there's no way that you're not gonna feel like your mouth being full and being heavy and have like this kind of like creamy sensation in your mouth. Like it's impossible. Like that's why it's very educational with different coffees, because the comparison sometimes helps you to figure out, okay, this is a heavy body coffee.
Yep.
This is like a high body, intense, creamy, like that, like vanilla taste out of it. Perfect. Like for milk drinks, this is just like,
it's phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
I love that. And when we're describing something like body, it's different from taste of what we've been describing.
It's just
earlier.
tactile.
It's tactile. It's in your mouth. Like, what does it feel like?
Yeah.
Right? It's more of a feel.
The texture and weight. That's how we describe.
Professionally.
Right. So let's go to the beam up.
Yeah.
These
blends are absolutely, they're two of our newer blends. There's been a lot of effort to really perfect these. And it's so good on kind of any different brew method too. I've had it on slow bar. I pull it on espresso daily. I try it everywhere. And every single time, depending on different temperatures and different ways that I'm extracting too, it always surprises me.
Try the beam up right now.
Whoa.
Right?
So the acidity is actually like really shining now.
It's actually shining because we went through something that has low acidity.
Yep.
And then when we come here, it's not as, the acidity is not as high as those. But because the previous one were like low acidity, we think that there is more than it actually has.
Yeah.
But it's a very balanced medium to medium low acidity.
Yeah.
But it's more than here, which is a very low acidity.
It's more refined within its acidity. So when we're talking about things like acidity too, lots of coffees can have a lot of different kinds of acids, and some will then overpower some. And it depends on what point those acids are also volatile. So at different heat and different temperatures, you'll be able to identify some acids more so than other heats at different temperatures. Same exact way that we actually dial in our espressos to different temperatures.
And that's definitely one of my favorite bags.
Oh yeah, that one.
I love the art on this one. But also, but again, it's kind of like having like the creaminess of this, but with a touch of berry.
Yes.
So just the acidity. But if you go back like now and you compare this one with the Ethiopia.
Yep.
Yep. Now go to the Ethiopia. You see that?
Whoa.
Yeah, that's
because something is lacking there.
Yeah.
It's really enhanced over
Yeah,
here.
and that's something that happened over here.
Yeah.
Now to the classic, the crema wave.
So it's insane how you can also then pair different coffees too. It's like, oh, there's this acid in here. This is really going to enhance that, which is really fun.
We need to move.
Oh,
you
move. Now, this is usually a very quiet process as well, and we're keeping a lot of these things inside of our head, and we are typically moving fast in a very dialed in time.
Yeah. Crema wave, classic, you know, that like nutty,
that chocolate, nutty,
like honey and the finish, especially now that it's cooling down. No.
All of your bitterness, or what you would typically think of, oh, this might be bitter, is actually really being received as sweetness then. It's just easier for our senses to really receive as sweetness as well.
And now I'm not going to say anything. You're going to go and I want to watch your face.
Okay. This is very exciting for me. I have not yet to try this on a cupping table. Wow. It can't be identified as a decaf. No, I would not be able to identify this one as a decaf. I feel like a lot of people out there might be able to be like, oh, I can remember what a decaf really tastes like. It's like, no, this is like yogurty, nougaty.
Like, blind, I think is going to be very hard. For me, like is a sweeter, rounder version of the crema wave. But why is it sweeter? It's because it's missing caffeine. And caffeine, it is a bitter compound.
Yes.
So because it doesn't have the bitterness of the caffeine, it's a Swiss water process, that takes the caffeine out with water. It's clean, sweeter, but it's not, when we're talking about carbohydrates, does not have more carbohydrates than the crema wave. Just don't have the caffeine. They will make you perceive as bitter.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing.
And this is one of the best things that I've tried when it comes to like a Swiss water decaf. I do prefer Swiss water decaf too. It's a very extravagant process where it's soaked with water through a series of different things, and we don't have to get quite into it, but all of those taste and aromatic compounds are then actually backed up and put into the coffee again, just without the caffeine is how it's basically soaked. So
I don't work for them, but I really admire them.
Yes.
Like their work, decaffeinating coffee, it's amazing. So now that the coffees are starting to cool down, it's to pay attention. We need to go do like we did at the beginning, a little fast. We do one by one to see if there's changes in quality. Of course, every coffee cooling down, the perception of acidity will go up, but we need to see if there was any quality decrease on that. Sometimes there's even a quality increase.
All right, so now we can perceive all of those acids inside there. So those defects will very much shine.
Yeah, if there's any roast defect or coffee defects. Wow, the Ethiopia gets like super juicy. It's delicious.
It's very juicy. I drink that on everything. It's great on slow bar, V60.
See, like Colombia, it's one of the coffees that if you like cold coffee, like either a cold drip or cold brew, Colombia should be the one for you.
Yeah, and we have so many brewers out there now that can actually do an amazing cold brew, like the newer fellow Aiden as well.
Oh yeah,
that does an amazing cold brew. It's one of my preferred cold brews right now. And we actually went over a couple different brewers live on Livestream. So if you're interested in those or anything else that makes kind of that more immediate cold brew, or even a slower cold brew,
and then if you like milk, this is the one, and of course the crema. But if you like a cold milk or just cold coffee, then
like
the beam up is the one.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would we find on like an iced latte with the beamed up?
An iced latte with the beam up, it's probably going to be like a little bit berry-like, but a lot of vanilla to it. So the milk, depending on the milk you're going to use, is going to even put the sweetness up.
Gotcha.
It's going to carry a little bit of those flavors with it. It's perfect.
which we'll be going through a little bit of milk science and why that happens a little bit later today. I'll be going through how to froth milk.
Nice.
The beginnings of that.
We're gonna watch
what's
that.
kind of happening. And why we actually perceive the sweetness of milk at those lower temperatures and specific temperatures as well.
Amazing. Like, I really like how
this one,
right?
It like I perceive it so sweet.
Yeah.
So
it's so good.
It's fantastic. I went so slow. So chocolatey. It just like the nuttiness that comes through. It's almost like an almond. You said it earlier. It was
like a roasted almond.
It's a roasted almond.
Yeah. There's one thing that is very common in here called praline. So it's kind of like they put the almonds with sugar and then they caramelize with like a torch. For me, like that's the taste.
Yeah. Is it weird to say that the decaf almost it is like a sweeter?
It is a sweeter. There's no way.
Like that's
it's impossible.
Exactly what it is.
Yeah. It's impossible to not be sweeter because we're just removing like the caffeine is already make the perception of sweetness go all the way up.
Yeah.
So it's incredible. Like that coffee I can drink literally the whole day because no caffeine to stop me midday. So it's amazing.
Awesome.
And again, a well-made decaf is something that I'm always looking for because not everyone pay much attention to decaf, and if it's that quality, I'm satisfied.
It's definitely hard to find. So,
yes.
This is a pride and joy of ours right now, which is going to be available soon.
Very soon.
Very, very soon on Whole Latte Love. In fact, probably by the time that this is down the road, live streaming, it's going to be out there and quite popular because I'm going to be drinking this every night, if not. So,
perfect.
All right. So, and with that, any final comments about the cupping process for anyone kind of getting into this and trying out a lot of our specific coffees?
Well, first of all, try the protocol. It exists because it works. It's going to give you like measurements that it's going to work. Do it hot, warm, cold. A lot of people don't like to drink cold coffee. I think it's because they are used to not so great coffees. When not so great coffee cools down, unbearable, you cannot drink.
We can't perceive those defects when it's hot.
So here, I encourage you to do it, but if you want, like, my recommendation is single origins are perfect for both, but if you don't like a little bit of acidity in your coffee, in your espresso, maybe skip them and go to the blends. The blends are going to be great for espresso, but especially the Basop's Bima, they're also going to taste great for filter too. I mean, I like the decaf and the crema wave as filter, but it's not for everyone. And I think people need to be a little bit out of their comfort zone and play with extraction. So maybe 1 to 15, 1 to 20, play with it, 1 to 14, 1 to 11.
So all these different acids that you can pick from that will shine.
Different
at all
grinders
those different things.
will bring different tastes. The water that you're doing is also important. So all these steps are important for you to do it. And cupping is a very fun and easy way to discover new coffees.
Yeah, so that was another key factor as well as water. We did start with BWT water today.
Yes.
So keeping your water as consistent as possible is
have to.
even important on a cupping table to pour overs, although it's not going to be doing anything to a machine or anything like that, like espresso would. We're very particular when we're putting water into an espresso machine. It's just as particular on a cupping table.
Yeah, you really need to pay attention to water. It can ruin your cup.
Yep. So a quick tip on that when picking water, if they're going to, pick something at a grocery store or a BWT pitcher, is there anything
grocery
that you're
store
really
is going to be
shooting
difficult
for?
because there's so many different brands with different minerals in it. But if you're going to do it at home, there's like BWT pitchers. The one with the magnesium is perfect for that, like the magnesium cartridge inside.
Yeah.
I think it's the pink one, if I remember the cartridge.
We have them on Whole Latte Love.
Perfect. But if you're going to install a filter, I'll always check if how much mineral is coming in. But the Best Max Premium works for most situations, unless you have a very, very low content of minerals coming through, and then you're probably going to have to go to the best min. But like if you have like an average, like United States average minerals, the best max is going to do the job.
Because we kind of need those minerals to really identify a lot of these
and extract
acids.
stuff.
And extract. Yep. Awesome. Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this cupping. A couple of our new Whole Latte Love coffees here, including our new Crema Wave Decaf over here, which I'm very excited for. Excited for you all to try those. If you have any more questions, feel free to leave the comments down below. We'll be watching these as time goes on, or feel free to schedule a CoffeeCast with us, which is a one-on-one live expert cast, just like you're seeing right now with one of our experts right here. They can help you with anything that you'd like. Or after you've already bought your machine, we can also go on a barista assist. If you've been having issues dialing in your equipment or anything after you've already purchased, feel free to schedule a barista assist. But Danilo, thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure.
Again, my name's Zach, and see you next time.